Tell you for free that President Trump's interest in Nigeria has nothing to do with the death of any Christian. Nigeria has oil. Guys, Venezuela, it has oil. Greenland has oil. I just feel like the plan here is to abandon the Middle East in the long term. Israel has proven itself to be a liability, and not just a liability, it's a expensive liability that's both financially and in PR. It looks like a sinking ship, and I don't think that the Americans want to invest in the Middle East much longer because of that. Not to mention, from the time when Palestine would have first started being subjugated to now, many of the Arab countries have been legitimized in some way on the Western stage. Whether that's from building up their own infrastructure and becoming tourist destinations, or becoming key players in trade for things like oil and arms, etc. When people think of the Arab world, they no longer just think of a desert wasteland as they probably would have in the 1940s and prior. The Americans want oil and they want to be out of the Middle East. It's too expensive to keep that Israeli project going. They're going to leave Israel. They're going to abandon them. And in that, climate change is making all the ice melt. So Greenland is probably going to be exposed to be a hub of oil. Venezuela obviously already has oil. Guyana is right next door, which has just found oil. Nigeria is sitting on a pile of oil. People are constantly complaining that the Nigerian government has not nationalized and used the finances from the oil, to improve basic things like the national grid. And honestly, from the Americans' interest in Nigeria, it looks like that could actually never happen, because they might just invade that place.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Actually, there's a question that people are asking themselves: does really Trump care about Christian in Nigeria, or he has motive behind what he's saying? Actually, Trump just threatening Nigeria to go to war with them because he believes that they are killing Christian. So that will be covering in today's episode. The credit goes to the original owner of the videos. I will be back with more commentary.
Donald Trump, you do not want a war with Nigeria. Trust me when I say this, you do not want a war with Nigeria, bro. I know you're probably going to think it's a walk in the park here, but bro, it's long. Trust me. No way. It's going to be long. They have a population of 232 million people. And even though the average height in Nigeria is 5'7" for men, yeah, they're still called the African giants for a reason. They are super diverse in their success. Got successful artists, basketball players, actors. They even got scammers, bro. They got so much success in all these fields that they can come together and unify to actively defend their country. Because there's one thing I'll say about Nigerians. The only thing bigger than their heart is their pride. Their pride of being Nigerian. And they will not go out without a fight. I'm telling you that for free. So yeah.
Please understand that anytime Trump says that he is protecting Christianity, what that is really code for is he's protecting white supremacy. That's what he really is saying. Because right now he is threatening war with Nigeria, saying that the Christians are under threat by Islamist terror, and that the U.S. might have to step in, guns ablazing. But let's talk about what's really going on behind that religious Christianity smokescreen, okay? Because not even a week ago, Trump was threatening Venezuela. And you know what both of these countries have in common? Massive oil reserves. And just recently, Nigeria put a 15% tariff on imported petroleum, which means Western oil giants like Exxon, Chevron, and Shell can't just swoop in and dominate the market anymore. So now suddenly Christianity is in danger. Please. When he says Christianity, he does not mean freedom of religion. He means white Christian nationalism. The very same ideology that was weaponized and used to justify colonization, slavery, and invasion of Africa and the Americas under guise of missionary work. So let's be very clear. So this is not about saving Christians. This is about saving and maintaining Western control. It is quite literally about punishing Black and brown nations that dare to control their own resources. It's about keeping the global South under the thumb of white capitalist power and using religion as the moral excuse to justify doing it. Because if this was really about human rights and religious freedom, why is he not threatening action against countries where Muslims, Jews, and indigenous people are being threatened? Why just the oil-rich ones? So let's be very clear. Trump is not spreading faith. He's spreading white dominance. And Nigeria is just the next target on the altar of white Christian nationalism. White Christian imperialism has always been the game plan. They're simply using Christianity as their justifier the same way they always have. Don't fall for the okie doke.
Actually, guys, Nigeria is the most popular nation with rich in oil, and many people are asking themselves, Trump saying that, is it more about Christian or it's more about what he wants from Nigeria? That's what people are thinking. And also he's just threatening Nigeria to cut the aid, like every help USA give them if they don't do that. But many people are like, we don't trust. That's the reason why he's doing that. Me personally, I have question for our brothers and sisters who are in Nigeria. Does something happening like that? There's killing of Christian, or is something he just made up? Please let us know in a comment, but let's keep watching.
One thing about these ones, they can never leave Africa alone because they know that we are the source and our economies are unregulated. So it's anyone's playground. They come, destabilize, loot. You know, it's the same cycle, same thing, same playbook. Now there are talks about unalivings of Christians in Nigeria. So this one is saying, yeah, no, we're going to go send the troops to go and help stabilize and give stability and peace. Where have they done that? These ones, where? Name one. But also, I just want to remind people that remember the last time he fidgeted in Nigeria was during the Boko Haram saga. And all American celebrities are talking about it. The girls in Nigeria, wada Boko Haram. Chigi, these ones, they come and confess to us again that they were the ones who were funding Boko Haram. Not just only Boko Haram, ISIS, all of these little gangs that they create all over the world, Mozambique, everywhere. They fund themselves. And it worries me because remember not so long ago, South Africa to you, that they found there in Pumalanga a little camp of soldiers being trained. Hey, I'm just saying. But how do we trust that this one cares for humanity, especially the Black community, to even want to protect them in such an extent that your people in government aren't even paid their salaries? You removed food stamps because you're broke. And then, but you still have the budget to send troops in Africa, Nigeria, to go and save Christians. Trump, go deal with your own issues. Your people need you. You said you're going to put America first. Please, sir, do it. We are okay here in Africa. Leave us alone. Because we know that your interests are in Mali, Burkina Faso, and the surrounding countries that you've lost a grip on. We know this. We're not surprised that you are doing anything and everything to try and grab as little that you can, because we know that you have alliances with Tinubu. So honestly, this is just an old playbook, and Africans need to wake up to this playbook because it's the same thing they keep doing over and over again to us, and it works for them all the time. But this time around, really, honestly and truly, I mean, I'm so proud. Senegal, Ivory Coast, they all removed French troops. That's why they need presence, Lapaya. So Mtambana, honestly, Papa, deal with your country first, finish that shutdown, and answer to the people that voted for you, that pay tax, and stop using the money to perpetuate more wars in more countries. Please, we are tired. We are tired. You've only been in office for less than a year, and we are exasperated at this point.
Is Trump really trying to play in our faces with this strategic messaging about Nigeria? So he just called Nigeria a country of particular concern because, in his words, Christians are being slaughtered. And he is talking about the 3,100 Christians who've sadly been killed, right? But we need to slow that right down, because when you use faith like that and you ignore the Muslims dying too, it starts to feel like their lives don't count. And more than that, it hides what's actually driving the violence, because do you really think that this is about religion? Anyway, I need you guys to stick with me so you can see what's actually going on here, right? It's the same conflict, same killers, and this isn't new. It's chaos that's been brewing for years. Armed groups, gunmen, rogue herders, all moving through gaps that the governments have failed to fill, right? Isn't this the same play that we've seen in Haiti, Sudan, DRC? Convenient? Break the state, then swoop in with a savior story. Why now? Why Nigeria? Well, here's what they're not saying, right?
Nigeria's got $40 billion in oil exports, some of the largest gas reserves in Africa, solid minerals, gold, lithium, tin, resources that maybe the US needs, especially in a Cold War with China.
And as you saw, many people are comparing what's happening in what he's talking about in Nigeria. And he's been focusing on Argentina too. They are also rich in oil. And people are connecting those things, say like maybe that's why he's just attacking Nigeria because he wants their oil. But that's what people are saying. It's rumors, nothing confirmed. It's not something confirmed. It's what people are thinking. That's why personally I would like to hear what you think about the situation. And as I said before, please, if you're in Nigeria, tell us there's anything happening like what he's saying, like killing of Christian. Please let us know. Let's keep watching.
A big question has risen. What's the real motive of US President Donald Trump's threat to launch a military operation in Nigeria? Well, Trump said his mission is to stop the alleged persecution of Christians amid widespread insecurity in the West African country. But experts say there is more to it. Now, some US politicians and experts are suggesting the establishment of an emergency US military base in Nigeria's oil-rich region of Niger Delta to tackle alleged massacres of Christians by Boko Haram terrorists. In a social media post on November 2nd, an advisor to Donald Trump and the co-secretary general of the Transatlantic Parliamentary Group, Dr. Walid Faris, claimed that establishing a U.S. base in Port Harcourt, the headquarters of Nigeria's oil-rich resources, will help deter Boko Haram. Port Harcourt in southern Nigeria is almost 1,370 kilometers from Maiduguri, the epicenter of Boko Haram violence. This has sparked curiosity. Is it all about alleged Christian persecution or U.S. interests in Nigeria's resources? Apart from oil in the south, Nigeria has vast reserves of critical minerals, including gold, lithium, and cobalt, mainly in northern and central parts of the country, where insecurity is widespread. The Trump administration has never hidden America's hunger for critical minerals outside its shores and is often accused of arm-twisting countries for economic and migration deals. In July, Nigeria rejected pressure from the Trump administration to accept third country deportees, particularly Venezuelans from the US. Back to the alleged Christian persecution in Nigeria. It's widely known that armed groups carry out attacks indiscriminately, targeting Muslims and Christians. This isn't the first time Donald Trump has alleged genocide in an African country. In May, he claimed that the South African government was committing a genocide against white farmers, falsely showing photos from the DRC conflict to visiting President Cyril Ramaphosa in Washington to back his widely discredited claims. There have been tensions between Pretoria and Washington over trade and South Africa's ICC case against the ongoing Israeli war on Gaza. Some analysts say Trump's claims on African countries could also be a tactic to divert attention from the US-backed Israeli genocide against Palestinians in Gaza, which he never admitted.
So guys, I just want to read what you just say. Actually, he said like it was on November 3, 2025. He say like he threatened military action in Nigeria unless the Nigeria government acted on alleged attack against Christians. He posted that the USA might stop all aid and told the Pentagon to prepare the possible streak. And that's really serious because we don't know if it's happening. That's why I really want to hear from the people who are in Nigeria, who are where it's happening, to tell us like, is it really happening? There's some stuff going on with Christian, because people would like to know the truth. Whatever the orange guy, people doesn't trust that much. He can lie. So that's why I ask in this video, like if you're watching and you're from Nigeria or you have people you trust in Nigeria, please tell us. Or if you know more news about what's happening with Christian in Nigeria, kindly let us know, because we want to know if it's true. That's the first thing, because he can lie, we all know that. The second one, if it's because maybe oil, as people are saying, we will know. If he's lying, that means he have the motive behind what he's saying. That's why we can't just conclude or confirm anything. That's why we need to know first what's really happening, and to know it, we have to know it from the Nigerians brother and sister who are staying there, who are there personally. That's what I think. But also, you can't say like, I will just bring my military to your country, or will speak you, or something like that. I feel like there should be some respect with one country to another. Maybe they may be doing something which is not good, but you need to find a way to talk and fix this. You don't need to threaten, like, sometimes the government can do something, but doesn't mean all the people are in agreement with that. So if you attack a country, that means actually you're attacking people. So I feel like the readers, they should have the way of fixing things without involving like the locals, right? So I don't think the way he say like, oh, we are going to come with military, it's a good thing, but also we would like to hear from the people who are in Nigeria to tell us what's really, really happening. So to know like where to start from the story. This story, of course, for sure, if you tell us what's happening, it will have part two, so we can talk seriously on what's going on. But again, let me know, guys. So I have few comments from the people. Let's hear what the people are saying about the situation. The first one, so he say he's pointing at Nigeria like they are a bad guy when both Muslim and Christian are dying here. The second one say, why is oil never mentioned when big trade happen? Smell like business more than faith. The third one say, Nigeria said they will work with USA if sovereignty is respect, but who is really being bold here? The fourth one say, when a president, sorry, use the faith to justify the trade, I need to see the research, not slogan. The last one say, if this were about saving lives, why is narrative selective and loud in the West? Yeah, guys, I don't know what you think. That's what I'm saying. Let us know in a comment. Subscribe to the channel if it's your first time. I'll see you next time. As always, bye.